सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Namaste and welcome to all dear stakeholders of this gala event. The conference proceedings commence with solemn prayer, invoking divine wisdom, clarity of thought, and collective harmony. Rooted in Bharatiya tradition, the prayer symbolizes the Gurukul ethos where learning begins with humility, gratitude, and reverence for knowledge as a sacred pursuit. It sets the spiritual and ethical tone for 2 days of intellectual deliberations, reminding participants that education is not merely skill education or skill acquisition, but a journey towards higher consciousness and social responsibility at a time. This conference is part of Vedant's continuing international academic series dedicated to the mission of Viksit Bharat, reimagining education through the lenses of Indian knowledge systems, national priorities, and global engagement. Each edition in this series has acted as a platform for dialogue between tradition and modernity, bringing together scholars, educators, policymakers, and practitioners committed to shaping India's educational future. The present conference deepens this journey by focusing on higher education restructuring as a civilizational responsibility. The fourth International Virtual Multidisciplinary Conference on From Gurukul to Global, Paving Path to Viksit Bharat at 2047, Restructuring Higher Education with Indic Priorities, reflects India's evolving educational consciousness. This event is scheduled on 27th and 28th December of 2025. The conference situates higher education at the heart of nation building. It seeks to harmonize NEP 2020 reforms, Indic pedagogical wisdom, technological innovation, and global academic practices to nurture learners who are rooted in Bharatiya values and prepared for global leadership. Let us witness well wishes, blessings, messages received from various dignitaries. Video presentation showcases goodwill messages, blessings, and wishes received from Indian leaders and think tanks. These messages reflect collective faith in Vedant's national mission and reaffirm the shared commitment toward educational transformation, national development, and realization of Viksit Bharat by 2047. What is Vedant's mission? Vedant stands as an academic and intellectual movement committed to integrating Indian knowledge systems with contemporary education, research, and innovation. Its mission is to dig deeper and churn out the best possible researches in various domains to democratize quality knowledge, promote ethical scholarship, encourage interdisciplinary research, and align education with national priorities such as NEP 2020, Sustainable Development Goals, and Vision of Viksit Bharat by 2047. Vedant envisions education as seva, a service to society where scholarship contributes meaningfully to nation building rather than remaining confined to academic silos. Researchers and learners are invited to come forward with their researches in various domains, contributing to the research ecosystem of India and carry forward the legacy of Indic knowledge in coming times. Participants are invited to contribute Vedant's mission through research collaboration, knowledge dissemination, mentorship, policy dialogue, and community engagement. Scholars can align their research with Indic frameworks, educators can adopt value-based pedagogies, and institutions can partner in conferences, journals, and outreach initiatives. Vedant encourages every academic contribution, however small, to be seen as a step toward collective national progress. Team Vedant extends a warm and respectful welcome to all guests, dignitaries, speakers, session chair experts, researchers, participants, and media representatives. Their presence enriches the conference with diverse perspectives and shared wisdom, transforming this academic gathering into a confluence of ideas dedicated to shaping India's educational destiny. It is my indeed honor to introduce our Chief Patron, Mahamahim Acharya Devvrat ji, Honourable Governor of Gujarat and Maharashtra. Honourable Mahamahim is a distinguished educationist, principled administrator, and lifelong advocate of Indian values. He represents a rare synthesis of governance, education, and cultural consciousness. Born in Haryana, Acharya Devvrat ji dedicated over 3 decades to education before assuming constitutional responsibilities. He served as a principal of Gurukul Kurukshetra for more than 34 years, where he championed discipline, character formation, and the Gurukul ethos of holistic education. As governor, he is the chancellor of all state universities of Gujarat and Maharashtra, where he actively works to integrate Indian knowledge systems, ethical education, and academic excellence within modern university framework. His role as Chancellor reflects his deep commitment to reshaping higher education in alignment with Bharatiya traditions and national priorities. Acharya Devvrat ji is nationally recognized for his leadership in natural and cow-based farming, having inspired and supported over 5 lakh farmers in Gujarat to adopt sustainable agricultural practices. He has also been a strong proponent of social initiatives such as Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, de-addiction, environment conservation, water management, and tree plantations. Acharya ji is known for his discipline, simplicity, and hands-on approach. Acharya Devvrat ji exemplifies value-based constitutional leadership. His journey from Gurukul educator to the highest offices of public service stand as a living testament to the relevance of India's civilizational wisdom in contemporary governance. Let us listen to the Honourable Chief Patron and Honourable Governor of Gujarat and Maharashtra, Acharya Devvrat ji.
नमस्ते, वंदे मातरम। मैं इस चौथे अंतर्राष्ट्रीय बहुविषयक वर्चुअल सम्मेलन में from Gurukul to Global, Paving the Path to Viksit Bharat 2047, Restructuring Higher Education with Indic Priority विषय पर उपस्थित सभी प्रतिष्ठित एजुकेशनिस्ट, रिसर्चर्स, टीचर्स एंड पार्टिसिपेंट्स को हृदय से बधाई देता हूँ। राष्ट्र निर्माण के इस महान मिशन के लिए बुद्धिजीवियों के इतने बड़े समूह को सामूहिक रूप से काम करते हुए देखना वास्तव में मेरे लिए हर्ष और गर्व का विषय है। मैं इस पहल के लिए वेदांत नॉलेज सिस्टम प्राइवेट लिमिटेड की सराहना करता हूं। उनका यह प्रयास वर्ष 2047 तक एक विकसित भारत के निर्माण के लिए हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के दूरदर्शी दृष्टिकोण के साथ पूरी तरह से मेल खाता है। यह देखकर अत्यंत खुशी होती है कि वेदांत के निदेशक डॉक्टर अर्जुन दवे और CS राज सोनी जैसे युवा देश को पुनः विश्व गुरु बनाने की तीव्र इच्छा रखते हैं और जागरूकता बढ़ाने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध हैं। भारत हमेशा से ज्ञान की भूमि रहा है। दुनिया केवल धन और व्यापार के लिए ही नहीं है, बल्कि इससे भी महत्वपूर्ण बात यह है कि ज्ञान, मूल्यों और शिक्षा के लिए भी हमारी ओर देखती आई है। भारत की गुरुकुल परंपरा केवल सूचना देने की एक व्यवस्था नहीं थी, बल्कि यह जीवन की एक समग्र ट्रेनिंग थी। इसने चरित्र, अनुशासन, समाज और प्रकृति के प्रति जिम्मेदारी की भावनाओं को आकार दिया था। शिक्षा का उद्देश्य केवल रोजगार पाना नहीं था, बल्कि यह मानव निर्माण और राष्ट्र निर्माण था। हमारी भूमि के संतों, ऋषियों और आचार्यों ने हमें सिखाया कि सच्ची शिक्षा ज्ञान, कुशलता और संस्कार को एकीकृत करती है। जैसे जैसे हम विकसित भारत 2047 की ओर आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, हमें यह सुनिश्चित करना होगा कि यह प्राचीन सार आधुनिक नवाचारों के साथ सामंजस्यपूर्ण रूप से मिश्रित हो। अपनी विनम्र यात्रा में मैंने अपने जीवन का अधिकांश समय प्राकृतिक कृषि के लिए समर्पित किया है। यह सिर्फ एक कृषि तकनीक नहीं है, बल्कि यह प्रकृति के साथ तालमेल बैठाकर जीने का एक दर्शन है। यह मनुष्य और मिट्टी के बीच, मानव प्रगति और पारिस्थितिक संतुलन के बीच के अटूट बंधन को पुनर्जीवित करता है। आज दुनिया कई संकटों का सामना कर रही है, जिसमें पर्यावरणीय, नैतिक, सामाजिक और आध्यात्मिक मुद्दे शामिल हैं। इस परिदृश्य में भारतीय ज्ञान प्रणाली के पास विश्व को देने के लिए बहुत कुछ है, चाहे वह समग्र स्वास्थ्य के लिए योग हो, टिकाऊ चिकित्सा के लिए आयुर्वेद हो, शासन कला और अर्थशास्त्र के लिए चाणक्य का अर्थशास्त्र हो, फिर या एकता का उपदेश देने वाले ज्ञान का भंडार वेद और उपनिषद हो। हमारी यह विरासत सार्वभौमिक समाधान प्रदान करती है। हमें IKS को केवल गर्व के विषय के रूप में संरक्षित नहीं करना चाहिए, बल्कि हमें इसे दुनिया के सामने एक जीवंत, गतिशील और विश्व स्तर पर प्रासंगिक ज्ञान प्रणाली के रूप में प्रस्तुत करना चाहिए। इस सम्मेलन की थीम गुरुकुल से वैश्विक तक उस विजन को खूबसूरती से दर्शाती है। राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति 2020 ने पहले ही एक परिवर्तनकारी रोड मैप निर्धारित किया है। यह बहुविषयक शिक्षा मातृभाषा में शिक्षण और नैतिकता और रचनात्मकता पर जोर देने को प्रोत्साहित करता है। अब हमारे सामने यह कार्य है कि यह सुधार हर कक्षा, हर परिसर और हर सीखने वाले तक पहुंचे। आइए हम स्वामी विवेकानंद के शब्दों को याद करें। शिक्षा मनुष्य में पहले से ही परिपूर्णता की अभिव्यक्ति है। यदि हमारी शिक्षा उस सहज पूर्णता को सामने ला सकती है तो विकसित भारत एक सपना नहीं बल्कि एक नियति बन जाएगा। मैं यहाँ उपस्थित एजुकेशनिस्ट, स्कॉलर्स और इंस्टीट्यूशंस से अपील करता हूँ, आइए हम भारतीय लोकाचार पर आधारित एक ज्ञानवान समाज के निर्माण में हाथ मिलाएं। हम एक ऐसी पीढ़ी का पोषण करें जो न केवल कुशल और रोजगार योग्य हो बल्कि दयालु, साहसी और रचनात्मक भी हो। गुरुकुल से ग्लोबल तक की यात्रा हमारे अतीत को त्यागने के बारे में नहीं है बल्कि हमारी सभ्यता के प्रकाश को भविष्य में ले जाने के बारे में दिशा देती है। दुनिया को हमने दिखाना है कि भारत का विकास मॉडल समावेशी, टिकाऊ और गहराई से मानवीय है। अपनी बात को विराम देते हुए मैं इस बात पर जोर देना चाहता हूं कि विकसित भारत 2047 का सपना केवल सरकार की जिम्मेदारी नहीं है, एक पवित्र प्रयास जिसमें हर शिक्षक, हर शोधकर्ता, हर किसान, हर युवा, प्रत्येक नागरिक को योगदान देना ही चाहिए। मैं इस सम्मेलन को, वेदांत नॉलेज सिस्टम्स को इस नेक प्रयास के लिए बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। आपके विचार विमर्श विचारों को प्रज्वलित करें, कार्रवाई को प्रेरित करें और एक ऐसे भारत के निर्माण में आत्मविश्वास पैदा करें जो दुनिया को ज्ञान और करुणा के साथ दिशा दे सके। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद। वंदे मातरम।
The address by Honourable Governor Sir presented reflections on education, culture, youth empowerment and national development. The message underscores the role of value-based education, ethical leadership and institutional responsibility in realizing the vision of developed India by 2047. The Vedant Knowledge Systems Private Limited formally expresses its deep gratitude towards the Honourable Governor Sir for gracious presence, guidance and all encouragements. The association of such high constitutional dignity strengthens the conference vision and inspires all stakeholders to work with renewed commitment toward educational excellence and national progress. Thank you very much, Mahamahim, for all the blessings, love and wonderful talk. Thank you. Dear friends, now I would like to take the opportunity to introduce President of the event, Pujya Swami Parmatmanand Saraswati ji, seeking his best blessings and guidance. Pujya Swamiji, a revered spiritual leader, distinguished Vedanta scholar and a senior disciple of His Holiness Swami Dayanand Saraswati. With over 4 decades of dedicated teaching, Pujya Swamiji has profoundly influenced spiritual, educational and social thought in India and across the globe. Deeply rooted in Vedanta, Swamiji's discourses are known for remarkable clarity, intellectual depth, and contemporary relevance. His unique ability to harmonize the timeless vision of Shastras with realities of modern life makes his teachings accessible to students, professionals, policymakers, and seekers alike. His talks are systematic, rational, lucid, and enriched with practical illustrations drawn from everyday life. Pujya Parmatmanand Swamiji's contribution extends far beyond spiritual instructions. He has designed and led structured program on Vedanta, implementing Vedanta in one's lives, emotional intelligence, Indian culture and values for teachers, leadership for government officers and corporate professionals, along with extensive national and international organizational and social initiatives. He serves as the founder chairman of Arsha Vidyamandir Rajkot, Vadodara, is president of Shivananda Ashram, Ahmedabad, and convener as well as general secretary of the Hindu Dharma Acharya Sabha, Bharatvarsh. He has also been a member of several prestigious national committees, including those chaired by Honourable Prime Minister of India for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Pujya Swamiji has played a leading role in historic national initiatives such as declaration of the International Day of Yoga, the protection of Ram Setu, and the establishment of 108-foot statue of Adi Sankaracharya at Omkareshwar. He continues to lead the movement for freeing temples and religious institutions from state control. A globally respected voice, Pujya Swamiji has addressed eminent forums including the United Nations in Geneva, the British Parliament, International Interfaith Dialogues, G8 Summit, and cultural conferences across Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. Let us request Pujya Swamiji to share his blessings and thoughts with all of us. Pujya Swamiji.
So many civilizations came up and quite a few were lost also, and quite a few are surviving. And according to those civilizational growth, the culture also evolved. Similarly, our Hindu culture also evolved in India for millennia. But there is a unique difference between Hindu culture and other cultures. When I say culture, it primarily means way you dress up, what you eat, way your prayers, intrapersonal relationships, dance, music, aesthetic, joys, etc. We have also these cultural forms, but it is different in a sense that quite a few of the cultures are evolved because of the geographical surroundings, or it evolved just without any specific reason or specific objective, like those dances in American culture or the dresses of Middle East people. But the uniqueness of our Indian culture is, it is purely a religious culture. All the forms are connected to the vision of Hindu Dharma. They are indirectly connected. And in other words, all the cultural forms are meant for evolution of the human being. And therefore it is religious. Like our dance, our music is purely religious. Whatever the form may be, Kathakali or Kuchipudi or Bharatnatyam or Odissi or whatever, they are religious dances. Our music also, ragas, involve some bhajans in it. Fact that we are vegetarian, it is not like the concept of vegan, it is a religious thing. Himsam na kuryat, that's a Veda Vakya. Fact that we dress up this way, our prayers, our attitude towards the entire world is of something of reverence. It is Pujya. We never looked upon the world as a Bhogya. Rivers were Pujya, animals were Pujya, everything is Pujya because our vision that Isha Vasyamidam Sarvam, That is what our ultimate vision is, to discover the divinity that manifests as the entire creation. Sarvam khalvidam brahmaneha nanasti kinchana. That is a fact. And this fact has to be discovered. It is in terms of discovery, in terms of knowledge. Since it's a fact, you have to know it. And when it is to be known, it requires certain psychological, cognitive preparedness. Every knowledge requires preparedness. And this knowledge required preparedness in terms of emotional maturity, in terms of cognitive maturity. What do you mean by emotional maturity? Emotional maturity is capacity to handle one's own emotions. That you have anger, that you have a desire, that you have a greed is common. But what makes a human being as a human being is one who is a master of his or her emotion. Bhagavan says in the Bhagavad Gita, Shaknoti hevaya sodhum prak sharira vimokshana. Kama krodhot bhavam vegam sayuktasya sukhi naraha. One has to be a master of one's own emotions, not the slave. When we react to a given situation, we act instinctively in a given situation. This is animalistic behavior. What differentiates us from the animals is we are meant to be deliberate human beings. Bhagavan has given us free will. Bhagavan has given us the strength whereby I can control, regulate and master my emotions. And when you are a master, then only you are a human being. That gives you capacity to say no to yourself. And that gives you a capacity to say yes to yourself. Even if I don't feel like doing, I will do it. And even if I feel like doing, I can stop myself. That's emotional growth that is necessary. Cognitive growth is clarity in terms of what exactly do I want. Is it for the sake of money only I am running? Is it for the sake of pleasures only I am living? Or is it something that I want to discover fullness? I want to discover total happiness. That is a goal. And this emotive growth can take place when one lives a life of dharma. One lives a life of duty. One commits oneself to what is to be done. And he or she becomes a contributor. That is what was taught in our Gurukulas. Gurukulas, teachers empowered the student to develop certain degree of mastery over one's own mind. Even japa, puja, bhakti, yatra, everything is designed to develop that mastery, to gain certain emotive growth. Our Gurukulas taught us what should be done and what should not be done. All of you must be knowing this famous vakya, Satyam vada dharmam chara, swadhyaya anma pramadha, matrudevo bhava pitrudeva, ityadi vakyas are there. One has to have a fire in the belly that I shall never transgress. The Samanya Dharma in terms of values and Vishesh Dharma in terms of my duties, I will commit first to that. As they say nowadays, nation first. Yes, not only nation first, duty first, then my pleasures. So the Gurukula have the role. Modern system provides beautiful infrastructure to know various disciplines of knowledge which have been discovered in last few centuries. It's necessary, useful, especially for a student when he has to live independently and earn money. He or she must know this. But at the same time, one has to grow emotionally and cognitively. And that is what our Gurukula system taught us. And that is what the Hindu culture is. Whole culture is meant for that. To give you cognitive maturity and emotive maturity. In fact, if you look at your life from this, one can look at one's life this way. That good old Mahabharata battle is going on here daily. Yudhishthira stands for the forces which committed to righteousness, which were committed to what is proper, they were committed to Satya, etc. And Duryodhana was the forces or the type of the mind who was committed to fancies, who had no barrier living. And he himself says, Janami dharmam nachame pravruti. He knew what is right and wrong, but he could not commit himself to what is right. He could not withdraw himself from what is improper or wrong. Those are the forces. That Mahabharata is always there. An emotive faculty, instinctual faculty, or reactive faculty, namely emotions, tell me to do something. And my cognitions, my wisdom, my understanding, my knowledge, gathered from the parents, gathered from the culture, gathered from the elders, gathered from nowadays social media, tells me not to do. That Mahabharata goes on. The culture provides infrastructure. Our religion provides that infrastructure whereby one grows cognitively and he or she develops certain degree of mastery over one's own mind, one's own emotions, one's own reactions, one's own instinct, and the later on gains clarity about the goal of life. And therefore, I very strongly feel that we must adopt to our traditional Gurukula system. When we are talking of this knowledge system, this is what the knowledge system is. I fully understand and I fully congratulate all the educationists, all the research scholars who have done a lot of research whereby they have gained a degree of mastery over the nature. Our lives have become quite comfortable. But we have to gain mastery over our own mind. Concluding, I give one simple example. We had that Ravana. That Ravana had a mastery over all even the natural forces. But Devatas were his servants, Surya Devata, Vayu Devata, Agni, etc. But just because of lack of mastery over one's own mind, just because of lack of emotional growth, and cognitive growth, he lost what all he had, and not only he lost, thousands of his subjects lost their lives. And I feel this is the problem that modern society faces. Relatively, compared to 5-7 decades back and what is today, we don't have many issues of have-nots. Power supply, car, air conditioning, telephone is become things common, available to middle class, everybody. But all the problems are emotive problems, relative problems in terms of relationship problem. And that can be solved only if we have a structure to help our students, to help our generation next, how to develop that. And that structure is Hindu culture. That structure is Hindu Dharma. That structure is Hindu scriptures. That structure is Hindu history. Ramayana and Mahabharata are our histories. The reading of those stories, Valmiki Ramayana and Mahabharata, helps you to develop. I strongly wish that we must have a synthesis of both. Then only we will have a healthy society. And I appreciate and congratulate Vedanta for organizing such seminars, and also to you, all the professors who have found the time and to join it, educationists. May we all join hands together and create a healthy society while adopting our Indian cultural values and methodology of teaching and have a better world. India can become a Vishwa Guru only when India itself is healthy psychologically and cognitively. And world needs that health, and we can provide the health. My prayers for getting us that glory of Bharat Mata, that we are Vishwa Guru. With these prayers, I thank you, Vedanta Group, and my blessings to the whole team, and namaste to all of you.
The address by Swamiji offers profound insights into culture and education as a transformative force rooted in values, discipline and inner growth. Drawing from Indian wisdom and lived experience, the address bridges ancient knowledge traditions like Gurukul with contemporary societal needs prevailing in form of universities or higher education, inspiring participants to view education and culture as a path toward collective upliftment. The team Vedant conveys heartfelt gratitude towards the president of event, Pujya Parmatmanand Saraswati ji, for blessings, guidance and inspirational presence. The address serves as a moral compass for the conference, reminding scholars that intellectual pursuits must ultimately serve humanity. Thank you again, Swamiji. Dear participants and friends, taking our journey further, today we have two prominent speakers for delivering their talks. It is a great honor and privilege to introduce our esteemed keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Sushant Singh, a distinguished academician, researcher and innovator in the field of life sciences and biotechnology. Professor Singh is currently serving as Professor at the Department of Life Sciences, School of Bioscience and Technology, Sharda University, Greater Noida. Prior to this, he held significant academic leadership roles, including Deputy Director, Research and Development, as well as Associate Professor at the Amity Institute of Biotechnology, Amity University, Chhattisgarh campus. Dr. Singh earned his PhD in biotechnology from IIT Guwahati, one of India's premier institutes of research excellence. His academic journey is further enriched by extensive international postdoctoral research experience in United States, including prestigious institutions such as the University of Central Florida, the Ohio State University. As accomplished researcher, Professor Singh holds 11 patents, including one international patent, and has published over 50 research papers in reputed international journals. His research excellence has recognized through competitive fundings as principal investigator for multiple projects, reflecting his strong engagement with innovation and translational research. Beyond academia, Professor Singh plays an active role in the national innovation ecosystem as an innovation ambassador with the Ministry of Education's Innovation Cell, contributing to entrepreneurship, development and research-driven innovation among students and faculty. With his rich blend of academic rigor, global research exposure, innovation leadership, and commitment to nation building through science, Professor Dr. Sushant Singh brings invaluable insights to this conference on Gurukul to Global, paving the path to Viksit Bharat at 2047. We are deeply honored to have him with us today and look forward to his address. Professor Dr. Singh.
Good afternoon to everyone. First of all, thank you so much, Arjun Dave sir, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to be part of this conference. The conference title is From Gurukul to Global, Paving Path to Viksit Bharat at 2047. 2047, Restructuring Higher Education with Indic Priorities, to be scheduled on 27th and 28th December 2025. Thank you so much for this wonderful invitation for our keynote address. Thank you so much. I have seen the growth of Vedant Knowledge System Private Limited over the time, as I was also part of the conference last year, and I must really congratulate you for this wonderful initiative taken by you. So coming to the topic of my presentation, the topic of my presentation is translating cerium oxide nanoparticle from bench to bedside, that is biomedical application and future aspect. To be part of this fourth international multidisciplinary virtual conference on Gurukul to Global, Paving Path to Viksit Bharat 2024-7 and restructuring higher education with Indic priorities. What I'll go through the research, what I used to do, I have done so far, and at the end I'll discuss how this particular research is part of Gurukul to Global and how we are, as a researcher, we are initiating and we are paving the pathway towards Viksit Bharat for 2047. So serum oxide, coming to the topic, serum oxide is next generation therapeutic nanomaterial, and we do work on serum oxide. The lab basically works on serum oxide. Now, why we do consider this serum oxide as a next generation therapeutic material is because serum oxide has multiple application. It goes from anti-cancerous activities to cytotoxicity, antibacterial activity, neurotoxicity, and genotoxicity, and that is why we consider that this serum oxide nanomaterial is a part of next generation therapeutics material in therapeutics, diagnostics, and drug delivery applications. Now everyone asks one question, that is, why nano? Why nanotechnology is considered so important? And the reason is, you are finding this nanotechnology in all the different aspects of research, whether your research deals with waste management, whether your research deals with smart infrastructure, whether your research deals with biodiversity, policy making, transport, or any other aspect. You will always find the application of serum oxide nanomaterial in multiple directions. Now coming to nanotechnology in biology, there are two principles behind nanotechnology which basically makes it more important. And the first principle is nanoparticles are in similar to size range in common to many biomolecules in the system. And this is very true. We have lots of different molecules, for example, like glucose, protein, DNA, virus, which are present in our blood. These are very ultra small, fine nanomaterial or nano size particle. This is where you can synthesize nanoparticles in those size range, ranging in those size range, and that's how that makes nanomaterials most important. The second and most important properties is you can easily control and tailor the properties of nanoparticles at a nanoscale range, and this is very true. For example, you just see an example that you take cloth to a tailor, and what he does is he cuts size that cloth and he makes wearable for you. That's we do in nanotechnology. We control and tailor the size of nanoscale range in such a way that it becomes more and more usable in that particular. Now coming to serum oxide nanoparticle, the serum oxide nanoparticle plays a very important role in terms of antioxidative particle, and this is where we develop serum oxide nanomaterial as a mimetic material. Mimetic material means they behaves like an enzyme. For example, when serum oxide is in C3 plus and C4 plus sign, it behaves as a serum oxide particle, superoxide dismutase mimetic enzyme, and when the serum oxide is in C4 plus range, it behaves as a catalase mimetic enzyme. When it is acting as an SOD mimetic enzyme, it scavenges in superoxide radical, and when it is present in the catalase mimetic enzyme, it scavenges hydrogen peroxide radical. Now, why it is important? It is important because ROS is a inherent part of many metabolic disorders, whether it is DNA damage, oxidation of proteins, whether it is any pro-inflammatory cytokinin release, whether it is angiogenesis, whether it is apoptosis in your cell body, you will always find at the base level that there is a very high level of reactive oxygen species involved into the system. And that is why we consider ROS as a part of all the metabolic disorders which are presently in the body. And that's why it is very important to understand and scavenge the level of ROS in the body. So the serum oxide particles basically scavenges ROS molecule. Now it is important that we inhale oxygen, and it is to be believed that 5% of oxygen gets converted into free radical, that is oxidative radical in the system, and that is more toxic to a cellular system. So superoxide anion, which basically involved in mitochondrial enzyme, NADPH oxidase and pesticides, which are basically produced in the body, and this superoxide anion gets further converted into nitric oxide molecule, peroxynitrite molecule, and ON double O minus, also in hydrogen peroxide, and this hydrogen peroxide further leads to DNA damage, protein damage, lipid peroxidation, all different kinds of molecule into the system. And there is a very fine balance between oxidative stress and antioxidative defense system in our body. And when this balance get disturbed under any kind of external stress, the oxidative levels of the body increases, and thus it starts inducing in negative effect. This is where the antioxidative molecule or antioxidative system basically comes into the picture, which consists of antioxidative scavenger. These are different components, and also the enzymatic defense system, which is part of it, that is superoxide dismutase, thioredoxin, glutathione pathways, catalase, peroxidases, mitochondrial enzymes, channels. So these are all different parts of antioxidative defense system in our body. They comes into action and they relieve the kind of stress which is presented. Now, towards prioritizing the damaging effect of these antioxidative system, or towards prioritizing the damaging effect of the oxidative stress, we have antioxidative defense system in our body, and it is very important to curb this antioxidative molecule, that is superoxide radical, that is hydrogen peroxide radical, and this is where serum oxide nanomaterials plays an important role. So the way serum oxide behaves as an antioxidative mimetic material, it scavenges superoxide radical as well as it scavenges hydrogen peroxide radical as well. Coming to the basic features of serum oxide basically atomic number 58, symbol known by Ce, electronic configuration is 4f2 6s2 molecule, atomic weight is 140.116, crystal structure and physical state present. This is considered as a rare earth element of lanthanoid series, and face centered cubic structures are basically one. The solution which serum basically prepares is weakly basic, and it is a solid material. So these are the basic features of serum oxide molecule. Now there are few unique properties which are associated with serum oxide molecule, and those unique properties are redox nature. Why? The serum oxide is of redox nature, switching oxidation state between C3 plus ion and C4 plus ion. This serum oxide behaves in such a way. Oxygen defect, hotspot of catalytic activity. So during the process of synthesis, there are certain hotspots are created into the crystal structure of serum oxide nanomaterial, and they behave as a catalytic activity. And the important point is that it behaves as a potential antioxidative molecule, that is superoxide dismutase catalase, and it is scavenges reactive oxygen species with major application in biomedical research. Now this is a schematic representation where it undergoes into scavenging of hydrogen peroxide radical and superoxide radical, and this has been published in nanoscale so far. Now coming to some of the application part of serum oxide nanomaterial. So this is one of the very early application which we detected was picomolar detection of hydrogen peroxide using serum oxide nanoparticles. So peroxides, which are part of system, and it helps in the induction of oxidative stress into a system. To let people know from non-medical background that in our blood we have hydrogen peroxide level concentration, which is an important marker of oxidative stress. And in order to find out that detection, we really need some very specific sensors which can lead to the detection of hydrogen peroxide. So this is where we developed a sensor which was able to detect the picomolar level of hydrogen peroxide using serum oxide nanoparticle as a glassy carbon electrode. So this is the sensor where it can detect up to even 0.1 picomolar of hydrogen peroxide till 1 micromolar. And what you can find it out that the moment you add hydrogen peroxide molecule into the system, there is a change in current which basically gets detected as a signal. However, if we have other molecules like uric acid, sodium nitrate or glucose, it doesn't affect that particular sensor. So this indicates the sensitivity of serum oxide nanomaterial towards hydrogen peroxide. Coming to our next studies where we try to identify that can we develop a serum oxide material which can enter into the cellular system without any side effect. And this is where we developed different types of nanomaterial. For example, nanoparticles with 3 to 5 nanometer size range. You can see into this A then B, it were nanospheres, which were around 50 to 20 nanometer, and then C, it was nanocubes, and D was nanorods. So these were all the different method of synthesis, and what we find out that out of all this material, when you have serum oxide nanoparticle in the range of 3 to 5 nanometer, they are very easily uptaken by the cellular system into the body and without any utilization of energy. So in this way, we can use the serum oxide nanomaterial in drug delivery applications, which can go into the cellular system, and it is believed that if the system doesn't uses any active form of energy for uptake of nanomaterial, the drug goes to its right place and stays mostly within the cellular system. And these are completely energy independent pathway, because during the process we inhibited the energy dependent pathway. So we found that serum oxide nanomaterials can be efficiently used in drug delivery approaches. Now, the serum oxide nanomaterials are synthesized in two different forms, that is acidic mimetic and particle, or catalase mimetic particle. But what we were interested in to synthesize a material which can be either acidic mimetic particle, or in addition to that, it can also be catalase mimetic particle, and we were able to synthesize that. What you can see here is serum oxide nanoparticle with antioxidative scavenging potential. So you can see in lower how it is behaves as the Ross mimetic enzymes, or in the upper phase you can see how it is behaving as a catalase mimetic enzyme. And completely, this material was found to be completely non-toxic. What you can see here in MTT data as well. The serum oxide material, the way it is behaving as an antioxidative and Ross material, a Ross scavenging material, we thought why not to test this material for some ultraviolet B radiation effect to see if it is minimizing those damage induced by ultraviolet B radiation. What you can find out is that the way pollution is increasing, the way environmental stress is increasing, lot of ultraviolet radiations are being received and they have negative consequences. So what we did in one of our studies with a Brazilian group, what we find out that if you have ultraviolet B radiation, low doses of UV radiation in presence of serum oxide material, that induce catalase and acidic mimetic activity, and it has much less severe effect in comparison to a control group, and this is where the studies was very highly successful. Further down the lane, we thought why not to use this serum oxide nanomaterial in diabetic drug wound healing. So we went ahead with this study where we synthesized those serum oxide nanomaterial in ultra again low size range, and we conjugated this serum oxide nanomaterial with miRNA molecule onto its surface using EDC NHS chemistry. But you can see here is the mechanism how these miRNA molecules are being bounded, and using this chemistry we treated the mouse models with a diabetic mouse model for their wound healing aspect. Now to non-scientific people, what I can say is that especially in case of diabetes, what you always found is that the wound doesn't heal properly. It takes certain time for the wound to heal, and what we found out here is that when you have serum oxide nanomaterial treated on diabetic wound, it heals much faster as compared to control. What you can see here in pig model is that if this is a PBS treated pig model and this is CNP miRNA treated pig model, and what you find is that you have CNP miRNA healing the wound much more faster, leading to wound closure. And this is a very good and initial studies done by our group at University of Colorado by Dr. Carlos Zakib and Dr. Ken Lichty. And in this way, we did further more detailed analysis of serum oxide nanomaterial towards understanding the mechanism of diabetic wound healing. And what we found out that this material was very, very effective in terms of healing the wound properly. Those what you can see here is CD45 staining of 7-day non-diabetic and diabetic wounds without CNP mRNA treatment. These are some ECM remodeling changes. What you can see here is that the collagen area, when in presence of CNP mRNA, you see how the collagen area is much more reduced in presence of especially CNP miRNA in case of diabetic model, whereas in case of non-diabetic model you can see how this is being increased. So we were very happy with this particular result, and currently this CNP mRNA is clinical trial. I'll show you in the end how this is happening. We also did some of those study on lung functions treatment during the era of COVID, as lungs were majorly affected. And what we found out that when you have a delayed treatment with CNP mRNA, this particularly drug, it really helps in restoring the functional aspect. These are some of those data where you understand that how CNP mRNA is helping in lowering the pro-inflammatory gene signaling. Now, in a similar way, we thought why not to develop a visible sensor for oxidative stress understanding, and what we developed here was a SIP patch incorporated with CNP-mRNA to understand the oxidative stress sensing. And what you can find out is, let's suppose if you have a wound onto your surface and you really need to understand if the wound under this particular patch is healing or not, how to understand that, you have to remove the wound. So we developed basically a patch which is able to change the color upon getting stressed by oxidative stress. And this is animal model studies. What you can see here is how this patch, basically in case of control, it helps into the wound healing. So this is the thin and thick patch which upon in 24 hours of time period, lot of oxidative stress has been developed into the wound, and the patch turns pink, indicating that now it is the right time to remove the patch, apply the therapeutic medicine, and again close it down. So this was one of the very study, and this is currently under US patent stuff. Coming to further our studies, we took further research into more right direction, where we try to develop a wound healing gel incorporated with CNP-mRNA to see if there is a sustained release over the system. As you know, if you have a particular wound, especially in case of diabetic wound, you really need sustained release of those different component molecule as well. And these are the photographs showing the zwitterionic cryogels, how they are stretching capability, compression and release they have, and how they are self-healing. They basically get attached to each other. So this cryogel was also very successful in terms of drug delivery applications. We also developed a particular sensor, especially an enzyme-free biosensor for the detection of neurotransmitter, that is dopamine, from the whole blood. It is based on the reaction chemistry between C4 serum oxide molecule and the dopamine. When they interact, the C4 gets converted into C3+, which can be easily detected by any enzyme-free plasmonic biosensor system. And these results have been published in Nanoletters. Now coming to the conjugation studies of serum oxide material, what we did was we conjugated the serum oxide nanomaterial with another molecule, that is nitric oxide donor molecule. We call it as a SNAP. And what we find out that when you conjugate these two molecules together, you will always have a very excellent antimicrobial effect. What you can see here is how the gram positive and gram negative bacteria, they are completely inhibited by the presence of this conjugated compound. And it's not only gram positive and negative bacteria, but we also found the other component, that is Candida albicans fungal growth, which was getting inhibited by this particular presence of conjugated compounds. And this is working like a charm material for antimicrobial activity. In a similar way, we also investigated like what is the property of serum oxide material even at low temperature and high temperature, because you need those kind of material working at a very higher temperature as well. So we did an initial study where we did the investigation of this functional activity of serum oxide material at low temperature as minus 80 degrees Celsius. We treated the material for 24 hours at minus 80 degrees Celsius, and we tried to see the activity. We found that the material is having almost around 40-47% of inhibition activity in terms of ROS molecule. And when we did this testing with a higher temperature at 40, 50, 60 and even at 70 degrees Celsius, what we found that it has ROS inhibition activity up to 94 degrees Celsius even at 1 millimolar concentration. And this was a very unique study where we did the range study from minus 80 degrees Celsius till 70 degrees Celsius. Now moving towards more into this direction and the way environmental pollution is increasing, we thought why not to have some nanotechnology based solution towards sustainability. So currently the lab, it works more towards an eco-friendly, cost-effective, safe and sustainable solution, and the lab is currently working more onto the green synthesis of serum oxide nanoparticle. In this direction, the serum oxide nanoparticle, we have worked onto synthesis of variety of molecule, and these are all patented stuff where we have done synthesis of ammonium hydroxide, hydrogen, high temperature calcination treatment. We have done hydrogen peroxide, hydrogen calcination treatment for synthesis of serum oxide material, and fabrication of serum oxide conjugate material using different green root chemistry. The lab basically is focusing on trying to find out if we can develop any kind of sustainable materials for therapeutic application in this particular direction. What I'll discuss with you is some of those results which we have done so far. So this is one of the results where we synthesized toxic less, basically I call this toxic less because we are not using any harsh chemicals into this direction. We are synthesizing serum oxide nanomaterial with much less toxic component, and what we find out is this: we have we have synthesized a dry serum oxide nanoparticle powders, and we synthesize this serum oxide nanoparticle in two different aspects, CNPH, basically we call it as, and then CNPNH. Now you can see how fine, precise this nanomaterial synthesis has taken place. What you can see here is those ultra fine nanomaterials of 5 to nanometer, 5, 4, 3, 2, what are the different nanomaterial size particles which are very, very significant. Now, these ultra low nanomaterial particles can effectively be used as a drug vehicle, as a drug molecule. It can transfer into the cellular system because of their very ultra low molecular size range. And the average size of this particle is ranges somewhere between close to 6.5 to 7.5 direction. In a similar way, we synthesized another kind of material, that is CNPNH, using a chemistry. And what you can see here is, you see how beautiful this particle looks around at this size range of 7 to 8 nanometer. Now this particular particle is a little bit onto the larger size range, and what you can find, the average size of this particle is close to 8 nanometer range. So what I really wanted to implicate is that you can synthesize on sustainable direction, following the norms, where you are trying to not inhibit the pollution as well, or you are trying to not induce the pollution as well. You can synthesize those kind of materials which are into ultra low size range molecules. And the application of this molecule comes into the direction of where you can have this low percentage inhibition of bacteria. Basically what you are using in this particular direction is, when you have these kind of material, the bacterial biofilm inhibition completely takes place. So what you can see here is that at 200 concentration you have almost 84% of bacterial inhibition, whereas in this case, even at 200 micromolar, you have almost 87% of bacterial inhibition. So these materials can be applied as a antibacterial material, and they can find their application in antibacterial coating industry. In a similar direction, towards the wound healing direction, we are also working onto the development of some kind of sustainable materials for wound. And in this direction, what we are finding is, we are developing hydrogel from cellulose material, and those cellulose is basically used from waste bagasse of sugarcane. And what you can see here is how these cellulose materials are being utilized for a fabrication of a particular bagasse. So by following different methodology, what we have used is, so far out of those waste material, we have utilized almost 61% to 54% of cellulose material which we have obtained. And this is practically a very good ratio, because we are not using any kind of harsh chemicals in this particular direction, and the percentage yield is also very excellent. Now coming to this particular direction, what you can see here, the whiteness index, the kind of cellulose which we have obtained, we compared this particular cellulose with material of commercial cellulose, and what we find that the whiteness index of those material what we have used is completely almost close to 80, which is quite close to the commercial cellulose what we have obtained without any utilization of harsh material. So this is where the lab direction is going on. I was talking about the application of serum oxide in therapeutic, and this is a company basically called as Seria Therapeutics in Tucson, Arizona, and Aurora, California. Aurora, Colorado state in USA. They have been testing these serum oxide materials on different diseases, and they are already under clinical trial and trial conditions, where they used for acute respiratory distress syndrome, acute lung injury, inflammatory bowel disease, and diabetic foot ulcers. So these are the area where serum oxide nanomaterial has been founding into this particular direction. And this is why we stick to the serum oxide material, and we consider serum oxide material as a multifunctional material, a very unique of its kind. And the way serum oxide research is progressing, we do feel that very soon you will have a drug in the market where serum oxide would be using for diabetic wound healing. Now coming to the concept of the conference, that is Gurukul Foundations to Indic Educational Values, we do believe that there has to have this kind of understanding, and that is why I congratulated Dr. Arjun Dave sir for his vision into this particular direction. Mentorship driven, learner centric education, this is where the Indian education scenario needs to be developed, and we do believe in the same parampara, basically Guru Shishya parampara, and that is why the lab focuses on making more student friendly, making them more taking up research at a very early stage so they can develop. The development also is into the holistic development direction, ethics and dharma, and learning by living, experimental, inquiry based, and community linked educations. Technology with digital and Indian ethics, we do believe that utilization of AI and digital tools guided by ethical framework rooted in Indic philosophy, blending traditional wisdom with emerging technologies, and also technology as an enabler, not as a replacement for human values. And in this direction, what I can say is that we use the lab as a research tool, and we use our student to understand research at a very early age so that they can take up those research and they can help us in developing the Viksit Bharat, the 2047 mission by Honourable Prime Minister. So this is some of the pictures of the lab where we try to train the student in a mentor-mentee kind of a relation. We develop them over the course of time. Thanks to all my present affiliation from IIT Guwahati to Ohio State University, SVP Medical Discovery Student, and a special thanks to Sharda University for giving this wonderful platform where we can connect to the entire world. I do believe just one quote that there's nothing I believe more strongly than getting young people interested in science and engineering for a better tomorrow and for all humankind. That is Babil Nai. And thank you, Vedant Knowledge System Private Limited. Thank you for being a great host and giving me a wonderful opportunity for this particular conference. Thank you so much, guys. And thank you, special thanks to Arjun Dave sir, Director Vedant Knowledge System for this particular conference titled From Gurukul to Global Paving Path to Viksit Bharat 2047 Restructuring Higher Education Through Indic Priorities. I think this is the call of time where we really need to have these kind of conferences where we can understand and we can make people aware about the kind of potential India has and the kind of potential we are looking forward to develop the manpower through this mentor-mentee scheme, holistic education, and using the technology-driven resources in our Indian universities and taking India towards a more Viksit Bharat nation at 2047. Thank you so much, Arjun Dave sir. Thank you so much.
The team Vedant extends sincere thanks to Professor Dr. Sushant Singh for a thought-provoking and insightful keynote address. The ideas shall provide intellectual direction for scholars, administrators, and policymakers participating in this conference. Thank you, Professor Singh. Thank you for your wonderful talk. Let me introduce you our plenary speaker and take me this honor to introduce Dr. Vandana Dhaval Pusalkar, a distinguished academician, practicing architect, urban design researcher, and an expert in sustainable development architecture, urban water systems as well. Dr. Pulaskar is currently serving as Associate Professor at S.P.S.M.B.H College of Architecture, Kolhapur, and brings with her over 2 decades of rich teaching experience in architectural education. She has taught wide range of subjects including architectural design, landscape architecture, environmental services, urban and regional planning, and research methodology, contributing significantly to the academic development of future architects. Alongside her academic career, Dr. Pusalkar has over 28 years of professional practice as the founder of Vandana Pusalkar and Associates, having successfully handled residential, commercial, institutional, landscape, and sustainable architectural projects across Maharashtra and neighboring regions. Her research contributions include publications in Scopus Index international journals and multiple conference proceedings, with core research interest in blue-green infrastructure, sustainable urban water management, river restoration, and environmentally responsive urban designs. She is member of several international and national professional bodies. Beyond academia and practice, Dr. Pusalkar is actively involved in environmental awareness and social outreach, contributing to public education initiatives on climate change, water conservation, and sustainable development goals. With her rare blend of academic scholarship, professional practice, and environmental commitment, Dr. Vandana brings valuable perspective to this conference, especially in the context of sustainable cities and Indic approaches to environmental stewardship. We are delighted to have with us Dr. Vandana to talk to us. Please, thank you.
Namaste. In the Indian tradition, education was never only about information, it was about transformation. Transformation of mind, character, and consciousness. From the Gurukul under a tree to today's global campuses and digital classrooms, one thing has remained constant: the environment in which we learn silently shapes who we become. As India moves towards Viksit Bharat at 2047, the question is not only what we teach, but where and how learning happens. Because spaces are not neutral, they quietly decide the future of the nation. Thank you so much, Vedant Knowledge Systems, for this beautiful topic, Viksit Bharat at from Gurukul to global, paving path to Viksit Bharat at 2047, restructuring higher education with Indic priorities, and allowing me to present my thought on role of educational spaces from Gurukul to global, paving the path to Viksit Bharat at 2047. This is the outline of my presentation. Initially, I will be talking about the famous quotes by famous Indian academicians, Swami Vivekananda, Guru Ravindranath Tagore, etc. Then how our legacies in the form of ancient Indian universities were there. Then what is the thrust area in Indian education systems? How previously Gurukul was the learning media, and then after that colonial to modern classrooms, the learning, the education system, how it has been evolved since ancient period. Then why educational spaces matters a lot, how Viksit Bharat can be about 2047, and then lastly the role of academic and environmental educational environment and role of academicians and way forward. How can it be till 2047? So, role of educational spaces from Gurukul to global. How can we forget the pioneers in educational systems since ancient period? This is beautiful quote by Swami Vivekananda. Education is not the amount of information that is put into your brain and runs riot there, undigested all your life. We must have life building, man making, character making, assimilation of ideas. If you have assimilated 5 ideas and made them your life and character, you have more education than any man who has got by heart a whole library. So education is the manifestation of perfection already in man. Then this is another beautiful quote by Ravindranath Tagore ji. Education enables the mind to find the ultimate truth, which gives us the wealth of inner light and love and gives significance to life. This is another beautiful quote by Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. The end product of education should be a free, creative man who can battle against historical circumstances and adversities of the nature. Then this is the quote by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. You were born with potential. You were born with goodness and trust. You were born with ideas and dreams. You were born with greatness. You were born with wings. You are not meant for crawling. You don't. So don't. You have wings. Learn to use them and fly. So these are some of the ancient universities of India. We all know the Indian tradition of education systems from Nalanda, Sringeri, Mithila, Ujjaini, Amravati, and so on. There are so many universities flourished in ancient India for the education system, and and we have forgotten all the legacy, but that legacy still to be continued. Then these are some of the thrust areas when we look at 2047 as Viksit Bharat. These are the 10 areas in which we should work upon: the multidisciplinary and holistic education, digital empowerment and online education, skill development and employability, research, innovation and entrepreneurship, capacity building of teachers for quality education, governance and autonomy, quality ranking and accreditation, equitable and inclusive education, promotion of Indian languages and Indian knowledge systems. This is very important. And internationalization of the education. Then when we study the ancient civilizations, the Gurukul system, how it was. So in the Indian tradition, education was never only about information, it was about transformation of the mind, character and consciousness. And from the Gurukul under the tree to today's global campuses and digital classrooms. So initially it was like nature integrated learning. Guru Shishya tradition was there. Knowledge plus values plus discipline was encouraged. Then after colonial British era till modern classrooms, what we can observe is these three are the key areas, we can say: standardized and exam centric spaces, knowledge separated from life, then gains, scale, access and science. Why educational spaces matters a lot. Okay, so environment, mind and nation building, how these three are interrelated. We all know Pancha Mahabhutas, Prithvi, Aap, Tej, Vayu, Akash. So how all these elements working upon us, and these spaces shapes our behavior, beliefs and confidence. Environment is like a silent teacher, teaching us always. Education is never values neutral. So we can study the metaphor, the tree. So education system, if we use the tree as a metaphor, the values and ethics are very important. If we wanted to build the knowledge and discipline, skills and exploration and wisdom's tree throughout the life. So key message here is that education is not separated from life. When roots are weak, educational collapses. When roots are strong, education flourish. Then another metaphor is a courtyard. In openness, we feel comfortable. Dialogue is possible. Community learning is possible. If we consider man is a human being or man is a animal which want other animals around us. So social animal we can say. So man flourishes or human being flourishes in the community. Inclusive education is possible inside the community only. So community education is possible in institutions. Then this is the third metaphor, that is the bridge. We need to bridge the gap between the tradition and the technology, local wisdom and the global knowledge, information and the wisdom. So unless and until we feel this gap or bridge this knowledge and wisdom, local to global and tradition and technology, then and then only we can achieve the quality education in India. So these are some of the parameters for the optimal learning environments, how our brain works to right from learners' emotional and social experiences to help learners feel safe and purposeful, etc. Then, what kind of school spaces we should have in educational campuses? So, from fear to confidence, the spaces should feel like confident. The students should feel like confident, and there should not be any fear of failure, or no more comparison should be there. And with the help of this confidence only, the student can flourish. And strength-based learning environments should be there in the schools. Then childhood spaces should be neutral foundations without any disparity, with light, color, and movement matters. Emotional safety must be achieved. Early sensory programming should be facilitated. Then and then only the child become fearless. They embrace the constructive criticism. They grow more empathetic. They engage in iterative thinking. They find their creative voice. They start discussing with other, and they start complementing each other. They connect to learning, to the world, and they develop a growth mindset. So this happens when students launch their work to an audience. So these are the 7 habits of happy kids, you can say. First is, I am the charge of my life. Second, I have a plan. Each and every kid should have a plan. Work first, then play. Everyone can win. So everybody is must win. Then listen first and then talk. Together is better. And seventh is, the balance feels the best. Then UG and PG spaces, learning ecosystems, those should be informal learning zones without disparity. There should be freedom for learning. Innovative ready campuses must be there. So open classrooms, green campuses, and collaborative zones will definitely add value, or facilitate the quality of education. A quick review. So whatever we have discussed, from Gurukul systems to the global learning systems. So initially it was learning inside with the nature, inside the nature, and then now it is without nature, and learning is happening inside the enclosed environment institutions. So ancient and modern education systems in India, meaning and differences. Initially, the ancient education in India was highly respected and centered around spiritual and philosophical knowledge. And the modern education is in India, however, is much more inclusive and formal. But still, there is a disparity. There is a discretion. There is no uh, uh, there is no community participation. There is uh, less confidence building activities, etc. Then we talk about the National Education Policy 2020, and if we want to go towards the Viksit Bharat till 2047, then holistic, multidisciplinary, and experiential learning has to be followed, along with the our traditional Indian knowledge systems, which taught us about ethics, sustainability, and purpose of our life. And so educational environments must be like a runways for the flight. They should facilitate each and every kid to excel, explore, and shine, become successful in their life. So, role of the academician here: designer of the learning environments, mentor of the minds, and nation builder. In all, today academicians are not only the subject experts, These are the designers for learning environments, mentor of minds, and builders of the national character. So we consciously shape spaces, curricula, and culture. Then we directly contribute to the nation building by doing the uh, quality education. We can contribute in the nation building. So India's greatest strength lies in the bridge between the tradition and technology, local wisdom and global knowledge, information and wisdom. And our educational spaces must reflect this unique advantage. Then another role of academician has to be improving the student outcome. That means the student should discover, he should dream, he should design, and he should deliver. So, what are you now to what are you aiming for? What might you need to consider, and how do you get there? So, this is this transition or transformation from the learning environment is possible with the help of academicians and a conducive educational institution environment. It is possible. Then these are the 10 aspects which every academician should consider: effective teaching methods in Indian schools, Indian education and cultural values, building mental strength through other education, global achievement of Indian students, student-centric curriculum in Indian education, EdTech transformation in Indian education, personalized learning in Indian classrooms, affordable education with high value, positive academic pressure for success, and competitive exams that build sharp minds. So, in all, if we take a quick review of what is the role of an academician and the role of the academic and educational environment. So, these are the four aspects: learning environment, intended learning outcome, learners, and the other people, those who are directly or indirectly involved for the learning process. So, interaction between the learning environment and the learner, impact of learning environment on learning outcomes, how so teacher's role or academician's role is very important in all these four aspects. So interaction of learners with environment leading to planned outcomes supported by other people in specific roles, maybe in the form of peers, tutors, facilitators, mentors, instructors, and employers, etc. Then if we consider the 21st century learner, they should have attitudes, actions, concepts, and skills. Along with, they should be communicator, they should be creator, sorry, they should be creator, they should be collaborator. So, the creativity and innovation, critical thinking, along with the digital citizenship, communication and collaboration, research and information fluency, technology operations and concepts. So these are the scaffoldings for the learning. Now way forward, Viksit Bharat. For Viksit Bharat at 2047, shaping the future of learning. So design spaces, shape minds, and build Viksit Bharat. So from Gurukul to global, the journey of education is not about rejecting the past, but refining it. When we design learning spaces that nurture confidence, empathy, and purpose, we do not merely produce graduates, we shape the nation builders. So that I believe is the true foundation of Viksit Bharat at 2047. Thank you. Thank you.
It was really a thought-provoking and enriching talk by Dr. Vandana Pusalkar. Vedant expresses gratitude towards Dr. Vandana Pusalkarji for this very insightful and meaningful talk. Thank you very much for all your time and wonderful talk. Thank you. In this conference, The participants' presentation segment showcases diverse research contributions across disciplines, reflecting conference multidisciplinary character. These presentations embody the spirit of scholarly inquiry, innovation, and collaboration, offering fresh perspectives aligned with the conference theme. The other side of coin. Session chairs provide constructive feedback on presentations, highlighting research strengths, methodological rigor, and areas for future improvement. This academic mentoring process reinforces quality scholarship and encourages researchers to refine their work for greater impact. The Vedant Knowledge Systems Private Limited is really grateful and thankful to Mahamahim Acharya Devvrat ji, Pujya Swami Parmatmanand Saraswati ji, Professor Sushant Singh ji, Professor Shobhana Jeet ji, Professor Vandana Pusalkar ji, esteemed session chair experts, Dr. Sunil Kumar from Mizoram University, Dr. Anubhav Kumar Prasad, United Institute of Technology, Dr. Ranjana Yadav, Magad Mahila College, Professor Parul Yadav, Amity University of Haryana, Dr. Sanjay Kumar Ingale, Dr. A.D. Sinde Institute of Technology, Dr. Manmohan Singh, Galgotias University, Dr. Madhu from Dayanand Sagar College of Engineering, Mrs. Seema Dhande, Dr. Munje Institute of Management and Computer Sciences, Dr. Archana J.R. from RNS Institute of Technology, Ria Jacob from Jyoti Engineering College of Thrissur, Dr. Darshana Desai, Indira College of Engineering and Management, Dr. Aparna Dattatre Pathak from Dr. Vishwanath Karad MIT World Peace University, Dr. Reshma Ghorpade from Ellen Willinger Institute of Management and Research, Dr. Raja Kumar Parbatina, Dr. Raja Kumar of Institute of Biosciences and Technology, MGM University, Miss Kajol from Lovely Professional University, Dr. Raj Rajeshwari Katta, Sri Sivani College of Pharmacy, Dr. Anil Kumar, Srinivas Ramanujan Institute of Technology, Dr. Kamal Sharma, Center of Excellence, School of Law, Gujarat University, Dr. Ashish Jaiswal, GLA University, Dr. Digvijay Singh Jadeja, Christ College, Dr. Arya Sharma, BIUSM, Dr. Priyadarshini Misra, Abhinav Bindra Sports Medicine and Research Institute, Dr. Natwa Patel, Srimati B.K. Mehta IT Center, VCA College, Dr. Lopamudra Hota, Birla Institute of Technology, Dr. Preeti Chaudhary, University of Rajasthan, Dr. Prasant Kumar, Amity University, Patna Campus, Dr. Minakshi Kumari, PES University, Dr. Manish Kumar Jaisal, ITM University, Dr. Subirthana Maharaja, Madras Christian College, Dr. K.V. Shalini from Avinashi Lingam Institute for Home Science and Higher Education for Women, Miss Aswini B. Nair, Madras School of Social Work, Dr. Priyanka Mishra from KIIT School of Architecture and Planning, KIIT deemed to be University, Dr. Gautam Arora, Virar Homeopathic Medical College, Dr. Praveen Kumar from Deshbhagat University, Dr. Rushi Joshi from Indian Institute of Teacher Education, Dr. Mohit Giri Goswami from Sardar Patel University, Dr. Tulika Bora from Assam Agricultural University, Dr. Mehul Dave, IIT Gandhinagar, Dr. Sanjay Sharma, Monarch University, Mr. Pratish Kanojia, Buddh Institute of Technology, Ravi Tag from Atmiya University, Dr. Munmi Bora from Assam Agriculture University. All respected participants and all direct, indirect contributors in this journey, we thank you all for everything. The conference concludes with a comprehensive vote of thanks to all guests, dignitaries, speakers, session chair experts, participants, reviewers, organizing committee members, and media partners. Vedant Knowledge Systems acknowledges the collective effort that made the conference a meaningful academic endeavor and its commitment to continuing this journey toward educational transformation and the mission of Viksit Bharat by 2047. Now we are moving towards technical sessions. Paper presentation and feedback of expert session chairs will be available as per the schedule. Thank you all. Have a great time ahead. Namaste. Thank you.